Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. We, as a country, are being led by one of the most insane, stupid, and ignorant sets of politicians I think I've ever known in my 57 years on this planet. It's almost as though we're in a comedy film, only it isn't funny. They are quite literally the worst government this country has ever had. Now, we've covered Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves many times because of their evil, Marxist, delusional ways. But it's not just them, is it? It's those that they surround themselves, this coterie of stupidity, this coterie of morons, if you will. It is a collection. I don't know what the collective noun is, but it's an insanity of stupidity. I don't know. First, of course, you've got Angela Rayner. She's been doing interviews recently, and she was asked. I mean, you could see the knowledge leaving her. She was asked about the coup in Syria, and she just looked like a rabbit in the headlights. She didn't know what to say. You could see the cogs working, but it was clear from the answers that she was giving that she didn't have a clue what she was talking about. They were the bland, have to wait and see. But the important thing is, what we must remember and all that, the way she speaks. There was nothing there. She repeated some bland something or other that Starmer had said earlier in the day, but there was no original thought. I mean, it's terrifying to think that this woman is in a position of power. She's so out of her depth, it is painful to watch. She knows nothing about Syria. And it's not her brief, I understand, but she knows nothing about Syria. She knows nothing about why it's happened. She knows nothing about those who come and go. And it's an example of the complete incompetence of the entire government. It's almost as though, when she was discussing it, it's almost as though she was welcoming the new group to take over Syria, who are a jihadist group who came out of Al-Qaeda. She's welcoming them. She's saying it's great that they've overthrown Assad. This is a group that's on our prescribed terrorist list, for heaven's sake, and she's pleased with them to get power. She hasn't got a Scooby-Doo. And then, of course, there's Pat McFadden, another one, again, out of his depth, doesn't know what he's talking about. He was asked if the government were likely to remove this group from the prescribed list. And he said he hadn't decided yet, but the government would make a swift decision. And that's, of course, the last thing it needs to do. It must make no decision. It must wait and see, because you don't know what this group are going to do. You've got to make sure this group don't turn in to being as bad as we think they undoubtedly are. And yet he's rushing to get them off that list. It's got to wait and see. I mean, the head of this group has got a $10 million price tag on his head. CIA put that there. Anyone who kills this guy gets $10 million, no questions. And Pat McFadden wants to take him off the terror list. I mean, it's madness, isn't it? And then, of course, we have the obese Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, who said very little, I think, at the beginning, for the first 24 hours. But since then, has made a fool of himself several times. He announced in Parliament that he's going to be giving £11 million to this group. He's funding terrorism. He's admitted it now. This is a terror group, and he's going to give £11 million to it. If he does, then he needs to be arrested the moment he does it for funding terror. He's the Foreign Secretary. What on earth is he doing making a decision like that? Instead of doing what he ought to do, which is retire. Not just as a minister, but out of politics. He's so stupid. So he's going to be funding this terror group for £11 million, presumably so they can buy lots of weapons and point it at the West. The man is an oaf. I knew he was thick, but I didn't know he was that thick. I mean, I did the video earlier about him not knowing where Syria was, and needing to read a map or something. But he called Assad a rat, very diplomatic. You don't know what's going on. Is this how you talk about, leaders of nations? Very against the rules. He was asked, this is the great one, he was asked if Britain were now going to stop claims for asylum from Syrians, as other European nations have done. And he said he didn't know. He's the Foreign Secretary. He's the one man who absolutely, positively has to know. It is his job to know. These people, all of them at the top, running this country. And they're just three. They're all at it. Every single one of them. Thick as champ. You've got Russia getting involved in Syria. You've got the Israelis attacking Syria. You've got Syria attacking Syria in a war. And these fools sit there. They don't know where it is. They don't know who these people are. They're funding terror. And they're telling us how clever they are and how well informed they are. Well, I'm afraid I don't believe that their claims that they know anything. I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're quite literally making it up as they go along, and it's all going to go crashing down because it always will. I honestly can't think of a worse group. And that's before you even get to Yvette Cooper, who can't count, is crashing the police. You've got Starmer in Saudi, sucking kissing the arse of the Saudi leaders to try and get them to invest money in Britain because no one else will, because he's crashing the economy. You haven't heard much, of course, of Rachel Reeves in the last couple of days. I think she's being shut down. I think they realise what they've got there is a problem. They try to keep her done. You've got the current and previous heads of MI6 coming out and saying that what this Labour Party are doing, what this Labour government is doing, is actually threatening national security. And this is all in 5 months, not even. How bad do they have to get? How bad does everything have to get in this country before we eventually work out that this government is actually working against us? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what they're doing. It's a joke. I do like watching Angela Rayner on the TV though. It's rare to see someone that stupid performing. Honestly. Anyway, let me know what you think. Till next time. Goodbye.